Our child needs to eat. Why are we compromising on food? And I'm not saying that's the situation. I'm just saying if that was a situation out here in these streets, if the child needs shoes, why are we compromising on things that he needs or she needs or your child needs? There's no compromise. There's situations that there's no compromise. We can compromise on days where whether he should go to or he or she should go to camp or pick up times, but basic necessities like food, light, gas, shelter, fees. Why? There's no compromise. It just is. It has to get done. And there's a parent that has to take care of that.
This is the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Welcome to the Family Dynamics Podcast. Man, it's been a Mississippi minute. I'm talking about a while since I've recorded a podcast. Guys, I've had so many things have happened while the podcast, we have been on sabbatical. My co-host, Alicia Meeks, my beautiful wife, she is somewhere producing something somewhere. Listen, my wife is extremely talented, multi-talented. She does a lot. She now creating mats, custom mats. She has a brand, a Spoiled Wives Club brand, www.spoiledwivesclub.com. So she creates, and she has her own community of wives and women and aspiring wives that she teaches, that she inspires women on a daily basis. So she's extremely busy. For me, I just been in my head, guys. Like I've been in a little bit of a roller coaster. I think I've went through a lot and still going through a lot of changes mentally and emotionally. Man, listen, this co-parenting, blending, and being married is not for the weak-hearted. It is easy to get into, but sometimes it gets hard to maintain. We are approaching the new school season. We have one child at home. So he started in high school. So we got 4 more years of organized schooling. So that's a bit exciting and it's a bit challenging because, as a parent, you're trying to move your child to the next phase, to the next phase, and the next phase. And sometimes they're just not ready. Maybe in our eyes, because they're our babies, because they're our children, we don't feel like they're ready for the next phase, or it's our own anxieties because they're our babies. We're so close and we're so attached and so close to the situation or close to them that you kind of want to hold on to them to make sure they got all the tools. But as I'm learning in life, sometimes you just don't have all of the tools that you need. You really just have to get moving forward. And along the way, you'll pick up nuggets and you'll pick up the tools because repetition is the father of learning. And you can't learn until you do it. But guys, man, I'm sharing something that's been on my heart. Approaching this new school season as a co-parent, I have 2 baby mamas, so to speak, and that's what they call it. So one of which I don't have to deal with so much because my oldest son, he'll be 23 this year. My youngest son, who I just explained, he's going into high school. I still have to communicate. I still have to compromise. I still have to inform. I still have to ensure that we communicate in a way that she's very well more informed. I have residential custody of my youngest son. So when it comes to schools, we're in this season of going into school, there's things that's due. You got school fees, you got orientations, you have dates that need to be fulfilled, and you got physicals, and all of that stuff need to be communicated to the alternative parent, as I should say, baby mama or whatever. So what had happened to me, and I'm really proud of myself because I reacted a different way. I was very poised and stood regal in my posture, knowing that I'm dad, right? Because I'm in control. As a co-parent, there has to be someone that's in control emotionally, physically, financially, Like you have to be in control. So I give my child's mother a call, and I let her know, which I think that all parents should keep the co-parents involved and informed, because it's the child. Like children are more, or should be more, valuable than things, and for a lot of people it is. So when you have a child, your children are your greatest asset to you, and you hold that near and dear to your heart. So as a parent, I understand that for me, I can't impose my thoughts or my emotions on her or how I feel about my son. I'm just always going to give her or anyone in the world the same respect that I would want her to give me. So I made a call and I said, hey, these are the school fees. The school fees are X amount of dollars. How do you want to proceed? Now, just a little disclaimer. I have residential custody. My child's mother doesn't pay child support at all. There's no standing child support order that mandates her to remit any payments to me each and every month. Because, and I think this happens a lot when it comes to when dad has custody of the child, when dad has control of the child and he's living primarily with, the child is living primarily with dad, it seems like child support falls at the wayside. And I'm realizing this because, to be honest, if the shoe was on the other foot, had my child lived with his mother, oh, I would have all kind of child support orders. And I'm not saying that out of spite. I just know that for a surety. So I let her know that there's school fees that's due. It's nothing I can do about them. It's not something that I made up a fictitious number. It's nothing that I just gave you a number. I actually gave actual documents to show what are the school fees for, what are the itemized items that they're having us pay for, what we need to pay for, what we don't need to pay for, what's pertinent and important for today for him to start school. The response I got was, I shouldn't be surprised, but it was kind of unprecedented, guys. And as my listeners, I want to share that experience because I did get a bit upset, because I feel as a father that when given the chance to conflate or unify our asset, as sort of, so to speak, like when I want to unify our co-parenting lifestyle to make you inclusive, and instantly I get a pushback. And the pushback was kind of sort of like this. Well, she feels that because she don't get a chance to file our son on tax documents, that she shouldn't have to pay for school fees. So I know, if anybody know anything about taxes, for those that rank or fall under a certain criteria or a certain dollar figure of year, of income, there is allotted a child tax credit, if you will. So a lot of people use the income tax time to re-up, to do things they wasn't able to do throughout the year, because the government do give you a child tax credit. But for the majority of us, we don't get a child tax credit because we fall under a different income bracket system. So it just becomes another itemized list of dependencies that we have on our taxes. Nonetheless, child support, or to support your child, shouldn't be contingent on a tax credit. Now, what I gathered from the conversation is that because she falls under that lower tax bracket, she probably would get the allotted funds that they give you for child tax credit. But again, guys, my son lives with me primarily. And by a lot of standards, when you are in court proceedings, it seems as though that the where the child resides, the the guardian or parent or parent who has that custody or that parental time should file taxes by right. It's a lot. It's a lot of things that we handle. My wife and I, we handle via insurances, school fees, as we're speaking about, back and forth, special busings. It's just a multitude of things, housing, food, light, gas, water that we pay for, that by right we should be the ones filing him on our taxes, because he is dependent on us and our standard of living for him to move forward each and every day and to be cared for. So I guess in her mind, she feels that the child tax credit is a form of child support. So, as you can hear in my tone and my voice, she declined to help or to assist in the fees that I do for school. And I'm laughing because I think it's very comical that is an actual thought process. And I know a lot of people are going through this, or maybe it's just me. But I know that for my situation, this is what has been presented to me. And I'm sharing this with you guys because if you are a listener and you're out there and you believe that, hey, maybe I don't need to contribute because I don't get all of the incentives of parenting via governmental standard. And let's be clear, as a father, and I can't place my moral standard on anyone, be it her or anyone. I just think that regardless of any benefits that the world gives you as a parent, if my child needs, I'm going to be there. If my child needs, I'm going to be there. There is no catalyst to get me to move to be a parent. I'm just being honest. There is no catalyst that gets me to move as a parent. Like, I don't need a push or a dollar figure or an incentive from anyone to get me to move as a parent. And that's me. Like I said before, I can't impose my moral standard on anyone else. And that's her. I'm just sharing with you guys because I hope that what I'm trying to say kind of helps or put things in perspective. So to move forward, how the rest of the conversation go, yes, I was a little annoyed. I was annoyed because I can't believe that we are here. And I was asked once before, as you co-parent or if you got a baby mama or baby father, does it get easier later? And in my experience, maybe for some it does, but in my experience, it doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any easier because sometimes people don't change. Situations change, but people don't change. Your children will get older. Your children will learn. Your children will adapt to their new lives and things that they're experiencing. But people usually don't change. And I've said this in previous podcasts that people, especially people that you've been in previous relationships with, from the time that you left them and the duration of time that you've been with them, that time that you've been with them and the time that you left with them, there's a stamp and say, this who this person is. Nothing else. So what I'm saying is you're not allowed to change in their mind because this is the person that you are and you don't have change. So the father that I was 9 or 10 years ago is the father that my children's mother think that I am today. And I'm totally different. Guys, I've been a parent since I was 13. I'm not the parent I was at 13 and the same parent as at 37. My mindset has changed, things that I desire, things that I want for my children, the way I view their growth, the way I view where they should be in their life, what I want them to accomplish, what I want me to accomplish, what I want them to see, what I want them to see from me. Like, it's totally different. Like, I'm a totally different person, but sometimes people don't allow you to change. So back to my point, things got a little bit heated over the phone because I sometimes I think that you get upset with your co-parent partner because it's kind of like the audacity, right? It's the audacity of the thought process. Like, how could you think like this? And what do you want me to do with your lack of involvement? Someone has to produce the need. Someone has to fulfill the need. And if one party doesn't feel like they want to help or assist in something that or someone that they created, someone has to produce. And if you look at it, if both parents fall by the wayside, there's a system called there's a system that takes place and takes over your lack of parenting or your lack of involvement, and that's the government, that's state institutions, that's state programs that take over when two parents feel like they don't want to do. But in a lot of cases, there is a one parent out of the two that says, I refuse to give up on my child. I refuse to let them not have. I refuse to not let them not be able to have the essentials or the basic necessities to move about life. And if a lot of times there's a co-parent that has a difference of opinion based off their own feelings, which to me, I would accept more, and this is left. I would accept more that, hey, I don't have it. I don't have the money, rather than I refuse because of something that is out of my control. It's out of my control. Like, I didn't set the standard of, tax benefits, income. Like, I didn't set that. But it's just by right what it is. Like, you don't file someone who doesn't live in your home, they don't depend on you for their daily living. So why are we starting here now? I think there's a sense of entitlement of some parents, even fathers. Because you're a father, you think you're entitled to something, or because you're a mother, you think you're entitled to something. But that's not that way. I've been in many court sessions where the judge could care less about your entitlement. It's about the betterment, and it's about what's in the best interest of the child. And in this situation, we shouldn't be fighting. We shouldn't be arguing or even having a debate about necessities, like basic needs, right? So it got a little heated because for my end, I felt pranked. I felt duped. I felt like I can't believe that we're here. I can't believe that this is even a topic of discussion. Because someone has to have it, guys. Listen to me. Someone has to have it. And the person is me. The person may be you. The person may be your alternative parent. They have to have the funds. They have to work each and every day to make sure that the child has a roof over their head, to have food in their stomach. They have to have it. They don't get a chance to choose because of their emotions or because of whatever. They have to produce. They have to. Like, I have to. So regardless if she refused, guess what? Dad, you have to. There is no way. And it's not because she don't want to. It's just you have to. And I refuse for him to not have because, she doesn't want to. And growing up in a single parent home, watching my mother, there's times where my father didn't do. And my mother, she didn't have a choice to make that choice. That's what I'm saying. There are mothers out there, there are fathers out there now in this day and time. But speaking for that time, there are mothers that could not make the choice to say, well, I'm not because I feel a way. I'm not because I don't feel up to it, or I'm not because I don't have it. My mother had to come up with the school fees, whether my dad could or could not. My dad was able to make the choice to say, I'm not because of X. Whatever his reasoning was. And for me, standing in that seat, I have to produce the funds to submit to the school. I don't have a choice in the matter. I don't have the choice in the matter whether I'm going to provide housing or I'm going to provide food, clothing, shelter. Like, I don't have a choice in that. And because you feel like something that's beyond me or something that's within you, it doesn't stop the fact that your child needs. So I was very poised because I'm not gonna lie to you guys. In past years, I've had to go to counseling. Man, I would pop off like a firecracker because I just can't stand. Um, I can't stand things that doesn't need to be explained. Like I can't stand. So I said to myself, Kevin, this situation, and this is a tip for someone. Just because we holler and scream, at the end of the day, the issue needs to be resolved. And where am I getting arguing about something that has to get done? This is another thing that I have to sacrifice. Whatever I needed to get done, and now I'm not getting the help. I didn't never ask for you to take care of the entire bill, but I'm just saying we're not going to get anywhere arguing. And that's for you. If this is a situation for you, whatever it is, you don't get anywhere arguing. And it's not a let's compromise. It's not a compromise. It's something that has to happen. Our child needs to eat. Why are we compromising on food? And I'm not saying that's the situation. I'm just saying if that was a situation out here in these streets, if the child needs shoes, why are we compromising on things that he needs or she needs or your child needs? There's no compromise. There's situations that there's no compromise. We can compromise on days where whether he should go to or he or she should go to camp or pickup times, but basic necessities like food, light, gas, shelter, fees. Why? There's no compromise. It just is. It has to get done. And there's a parent that has to take care of that. So I was very poised. I was proud of myself because I didn't react. I didn't pop off. And I just simply said, okay. No, it doesn't give her an out. It doesn't give my child parent. It doesn't give my child's mother an out. It's just I'm protecting me, my peace, reclaiming my peace, and saying people show you who they are. There's no need to get mad about it. What can you do, Kevin, to mitigate the situation that you have at hand? This is what is presented in front of you. What can you do? I can take care of it. I'm gonna take care of it. Could it possibly inconvenience me of something that I already allotted or something I'm already done? And that's another thing. As a parent, you may feel like I done bought all of the school supplies. I done bought the school clothes. I done bought this and I done put them in camp all summer and we come to school fees and you can't even do that. I'm with you. And I've been there. I'm there with you. But it doesn't stop that. It still has to get done. And I'm sympathizing with you if this is your situation to say, I get it. And tag, you're it. And at some point, whatever you believe in God, Yahweh, whatever you believe in, he sees that. And I think there's a scripture that says, when you take care of the least of these, I'm taking care of a gift that God gave me. This child was placed here in my hands to take care of. And I'm not going to stop it because someone else doesn't want to, or choosing not to, or refuse to, or they have their own feelings. And to her credit, her feelings is valid to her. It might not be morally right, but they valid to her. But it still had to take care of. I still have to take care of it. And as a father, I'm going to take care of it. And for my mother, she took care of it. And watching my wife coming into a relationship with her, I saw her just take care of it. And I know for face value, it looks like, oh, I'm always getting the short end of the stick. Maybe, maybe not. But one thing I can assure myself is my child will have the things that he needs or she needs to go to school. I'm not going to stop that. Not for no one. So my advice in this sharing is that whatever you can do, I think that emotionally that we should remove our emotion, remove our biasness, and take care of the needs of our children. Sometimes it might be out of the scope of child support. You may be paying your child support. Your child support might be astronomically high. But if the parent feels like they misappropriated the funds, and your child still needs to get into school, still needs to get into camp, still needs to be, needs to get into the sports and the sports fees, it is your job to make a decision to say, I'm gonna make sure they get what they need, regardless of what was misappropriated, be it the funds, or regardless if I've been taking care and I've been bearing all the weight. And I know it's heavy because I feel that. That's why I'm sharing my story with you. It's not right, guys, but it just is. What are we going to do from here? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take care, which I've already done. I'm going to take care of what's needed, and anything further, I'm going to be the dad. And I don't subscribe to have a trophy at the end of the day, because this stuff that we're doing, no one sees. No one sees this part. Not even the child. They just see that I got in school, or I got into the athletic program, or I got into the club at school, or I got the school, I got the shoes. They don't see the sacrifices, and it's not our job to make them see I sacrificed this and your mother or your father didn't want to do X, Y, and Z, and I made sure. They don't see that. Maybe later on in life you can explain that to them, but they don't see that. And I'm sure my son is not going to see that. But what he will see is that he lacks nothing when it comes to his needs, especially if dad is involved. So that is my tidbit I'm sharing, you guys. I'm going to try to be more inclusive of the things that I'm going through. And as we come out of this sabbatical, thank you guys. Please like, comment, and share. I appreciate you guys for rocking with us. And I will have my beautiful co-host on soon. She has a lot of things going on, but this is the Family Dynamics, and I'll see y'all in a minute.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Family Dynamics Podcast with Kevin and Alicia Meeks.
Thank you, guys.
Please like, subscribe, and comment. And don't forget to follow us on social media at The Family Dynamics.
We'll see y'all in a minute.